YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. It's me again, Mr. Wade. I'm your host, Wait a Minute POV. Thank y'all for coming and chilling with me. And today we finna get into did he do it or did he not? No, we just gonna talk about Diddy a little bit because he in the headlines. Why not? And remember, this is for entertainment and educational purposes only. So you already know what we about to do. We about to get into these videos. Yeet.
Meek Mill was caught having rough butt sex with P. Diddy.
Man, you doing it, man. You deserve it, daddy. You putting in that work.
You guys know Meek Mill has one of the best intros in hip-hop. And in the song Dreams and Nightmares, he says, "So I shine like that to shine like this." What did he mean by that? There are too many coincidences for this to not be true.
I have a celly. Nah, dude, you got a celly for 3 months.
That nigga cried when his celly left.
Pack it to new jail. You gonna feel like you just lost a chick. You ain't never lose your celly and feel like you lost a chick.
No, I lost some cellies that was some good, you know, they went home. Huh?
You dealing with somebody for a long period of time.
Do you think it's a lot of undercover brothers in the industry?
Now, Meek has been responding to the allegations on Twitter, and he's been doing everything but denying them. In this one, he said, "Academics, didn't I tell you to stop playing with my name? I don't know what I'm gonna do when I actually see you." It's gonna have a combination to it though. You see, he didn't deny it. Same thing with this one. The two things they say, we snitching or we gay. We generated hundreds of millions from music. It's not a coincidence, you know, yada yada yada. He's just yapping. He didn't deny it. And same thing with this one. Look, man, there's nothing wrong with being gay. I think the problem for most people is when it's obvious and you keep lying about it, and that's why it rubs people off the wrong way. And then Diddy already has enough issues going on. He's about to be sued. You associate with him and you're lying about things, it makes you look even more bad. What are your guys' thoughts? Let me know in the comments.
Meek Millie. Well, I remember listening to the back and forth with you and Cassidy. Well, it wasn't really back and forth. He was gassing your ass up like he was, you know, lyrically he was chewing you alive, bro. But, yeah, that video that you lounging in the pool, sitting there relaxing your butthole, cooling it off, suspect. And they try to say they have this audio joint, though. I'm never going to play that on my channel because it's suspect anyway. But, yeah. You seem kind of out there because you not denying none of this. You just talking on Twitter, just making rants and all of that stuff, but never no denial. You want to beat up on academics, the weakest nigga in the game. Come on, man. Like, let's be real, you know. But let's move on.
Happy Easter. Jesus Christian. Anybody else? Yeah. Everyone, introduce yourself.
My name's Ava. I'm a Scorpio.
No. What's your last name?
Ava Combs.
What's your other last name?
Ava Barone.
Eva Barone Combs. Yes, it's breaking news. Diddy adopted a white child. I want you to tell them the story about how I adopted you. But you still have beautiful parents that mature my child also. Please tell the story.
So, I was on the streets, and then Papa Combs decided that he would like to be a caring man. So then he saw me and decided to pick me up and said to come inside and play with his kids.
Hey, that's like a little bit like borderline suspect. I don't want nobody. You want to get it clear. I adopted you like Madonna adopted kids and everybody else adopted kids. Charlize Theron.
And then you say he got the adopted little white girl. Papa, man, to call a man Papa that you really hardly don't even probably know is hella weird anyway. And then Cassie was already saying that that's what he made her call him. That dude crazy. And then they try to say that, oh, everything is Diddy's fault. Everybody want to blame Diddy for shit. Well, look at what's happening right now, my nigga. Like, Diddy is to blame for it. But we just go to the next one.
Looking at this lawsuit, right, Lil Ron, he alleges that, you know, Diddy told him personally that he had sex with Usher. And when you look at the lawsuit, even though they got Usher's name redacted, you could tell who it is because they describe him as the guy that performed at the Super Bowl.
Right.
So, I mean, we all know who that is, but how you feel about that, man?
Well, I mentioned that earlier, that he said about Stevie J. The Usher part, that's a touchy situation, man. You know what I'm saying? Because I had a certain feeling, and I felt a certain way when Usher got on Shay Shay, and I don't mean to mention other people's platforms, but he got on Shay Shay and he mentioned how great and how good Puff taught him.
Helped me understand life. He helped me understand what it was to be an artist. He helped me understand what it was to be passionate about something. He helped me understand culture. He helped me understand business on a different level, because I'm seeing him go from his independence to then becoming Puff Daddy.
Remember, Usher? We was at the Swiss Hotel. Puff had Kim in the room. Had one of Keith Sweat's baby mothers in the big room outside the master bedroom. He came outside in his robe. She gave him a fellatio right there. His back was turned to me. She gave him a fellatio. You knocked on the door. I came and opened the door for you. Puff went in the room. You came in the room and kissed that girl dead in her mouth. Now I'm telling that because you taking up for somebody didn't do you right.
You know, I find that kind of funny too, as his ex-bodyguard, Gene. You know, he kind of suspect too, though. I mean, I know he going on every platform and talking his shit and telling everybody Diddy's business as well, though. You know what I'm saying? Even though that's kind of like, excuse my French, hoe shit, but whatever. You know, it's $1 because them people be paying them dudes just to go on those interviews. That shit don't come for free. You know what I'm saying? So everybody's got to hustle on this, though. You know what I'm saying? So for everybody to speak on Cuz is crazy. The only reason why I'm talking about it is because everybody else talking about it. I can give a damn about Diddy or his lawsuits or any of that shit. I don't even drink Ciroc. So, you know what I'm saying? But it's in the headline, so we gonna speak on it. My point of view. That's why it's called Wait a Minute POV. It's me. So let's move to the next.
This is Sean Combs, aka Diddy, and he was just sued by one of his producers who alleges SA and trafficking. But it's not the first time Diddy's been accused of abuse, and people have been speaking out against him for years. Somehow though, his empire remains intact.
Where we hanging out and what we doing, we can't really disclose. For the next 48 hours, he's with me. So, yeah, he signed to Usher. I had legal guardianship of Usher when you know he did his first album. My brother right here from day one, we used to wake up and damn, pause, but like just how. I mean, back in the days when he was like 10 and I was a little bit older, his older brother.
But you were 13. What were you seeing?
I went there to see the lifestyle. I don't know if I could indulge and understand what I was even looking at. There were very curious things taking place, and I didn't necessarily understand it.
Starting to act different, huh? You ain't been calling me and hanging out the way we used to hang out.
Well, I mean, I was sick of having to cover up everything that you did.
And I'm like, well, she doesn't have to you if she doesn't want to. He was upset. I realized, like, oh, this guy is dangerous.
In the newest civil suit, Rodney Lil Rod Jones, the producer on Diddy's most recent album, accused the rapper of SA and threatening him for more than a year, and he's seeking $30 million in damages.
Doing this situation is not easy. Taking Puff to court, suing him is not easy.
Jones also alleged that Diddy was involved in transporting drugs and sex workers, some of whom were minors, and asked for criminal investigation into this RICO enterprise. RICO stands for the Racketeer Influenced and Corrupt Organizations Act, created in 1970 to deal with those engaged in organized crime. Diddy's lawyers say the allegations are pure fiction, though. Just a few months ago, R&B singer Cassie Ventura filed a lawsuit against Diddy, accusing him of and a decade of physical and emotional abuse. She settled with Diddy outside of court. But even more SA allegations have come out against him since, and some say it's Cassie's bravery that empowered other survivors to speak up. Diddy has denied all allegations. Many, including Jones, say that Diddy, who has a net worth of $1 billion, has leveraged his wealth and influence to skirt accountability, despite so many speaking out against him. What do you think? Could this be the end for Diddy?
Sean Diddy Combs is facing new allegations of sexual assault.
Trust me when I say you wouldn't want to be in Diddy's shoes right now. He's been served nothing but misery for breakfast, lunch, and dinner for the past couple years, jumping from one lawsuit to Now it looks like all hell is about to break loose as his crimes come back to haunt him, and he's forced to pay a painful price for his actions. He may face some real jail time if his lawyers don't find a way to get these lawsuits dropped. Keep watching till the end of this video to see Diddy freaking out as 17-year-old confirms trafficking. Trust me, you don't want to miss this.
Before we get into the video, I want to give a quick shout out to the #1 celebrity jeweler, the Ice Champ. The Ice Champ is doing a special deal for the next 24 hours on diamond watches, chains, and more. Follow at the Ice Champ on Instagram now.
Diddy allegedly drugs and a 17-year-old. In a recent episode of Diddy's Dark Days, another woman has accused him and 2 of his associates of sexual abuse in a lawsuit filed Wednesday that is marked with a trigger warning. The 14-page complaint was filed in the Southern District of New York by Jane Doe against Diddy, former Bad Boy president Harve Pierre, and an unnamed man, with the plaintiff requesting a jury trial. This is the 4th known accusation since singer Cassie, Diddy's ex, claimed he physically and sexually abused her in a suit filed on November 16th, but settled the following day. Jane Doe, in the complaint filed Wednesday, said that Diddy, Pierre, and the other man gang and trafficked her back in 2003 when she was a 17-year-old high school junior. At the time, Diddy was 34 years old, twice the age of Jane Doe. Jane Doe claimed that Pierre, who was a singer, was accompanied by the unnamed man and others as he approached her and her friends at a lounge in Detroit. According to the complaint, Pierre told the teenager that Diddy would love to meet her and encouraged her to fly with him on a private jet to New York City to do so. While they were still at the lounge, Pierre took Doe to the restroom where he forced a large amount of cocaine upon her and then compelled her to have oral with him. Afterward, she was made to accompany Pierre and 2 others on a flight to Diddy's recording studio in New York City. She also claimed that while on the private jet, Diddy, Pierre, and the unnamed man gave her copious amounts of drugs and alcohol, which caused her to lose consciousness. As the night wore on, the 17-year-old Miss Doe became more and more inebriated, eventually to the point that she could not possibly have consented to having sex with anyone, much less someone twice her age, the statement read. Jane Doe described how Diddy continuously raped her in the bathroom as she kept phasing in and out of consciousness due to the amount of drugs in her system.
Negative propaganda put out about me that's not true.
Puff got one of the hottest DJs off of Hot 97 because she wanted to put up a picture of him getting his pants pulled down. When he grabbed his trunk to pull it down, some girls that was taking pictures. They took that picture and emailed it back to Wendy Williams.
Or hip-hop being closeted and having a plethora of kids to prove manhood that, you know, and denial of something that you shouldn't have to deny, which is your sexuality. Radio personality once upon a time, her name was Wendy Williams, and she was practically burned at the stake for talking about such.
Let me tell you, it seems like Diddy's ex-bodyguard Gene Deal has been spilling some piping hot tea about what went on behind the scenes and at some of the parties when he was working with Diddy. And let me tell you, some of the things he's revealed are so wild, they'll make your head spin. According to Gene, there were places that Diddy would go where even his bodyguards weren't allowed to follow. But that didn't stop Diddy from getting the juicy gossip from the ladies he invited. And even though Gene never witnessed the darker side of hip-hop while working with Diddy, he definitely heard some crazy stories from those exclusive parties. Apparently, Gene once found himself in a sticky situation at one of Diddy's bashes. He saw men being lured by women, only to end up in some very compromising positions with white dudes. Yikes. And if that wasn't enough, Gene claimed that he knew what was going on in those Turkish houses, even though he wasn't allowed inside.
He picked up some things from up here on my left side. And then he picked like quite a few of them down. I'm like, okay. He put them in the bag. So when I went by there and I looked up there and it said butt plugs. And I was like, hey, yo.
But wait, there's more. In another interview, Gene spilled the tea about a trip he took with Diddy to a store where he allegedly saw Diddy buying some pretty.
In case you forgot, I need you to like, subscribe, comment, subscribe. And sometimes subscribe. You know what I mean. Wait a minute, POV. in case you forgot.
We should talk about this P. Diddy situation. Rashawn Combs, rapper, mogul, and accused monster. And now today, we've got yet another lawsuit. Though this one coming from Rodney Jones, a producer who worked on Combs' latest album, with Jones on Monday suing Combs in federal court for $30 million and accusing Combs of harassing, assaulting, drugging, and threatening him for over a year. And during the time, Jones claims that Combs groped and touched him without consent, which according to Jones, Combs' chief of staff just called friendly horseplay and Combs' way of showing that he liked it. And all of that was on top of threats of bodily harm if Jones refused to agree to whatever Combs wanted. You know, since this news broke, this lawsuit has gotten a lot of attention online. And with that, among some of the most notable reactions, you have streamer DJ Academics. And notably, while he was looking over Jones's lawsuit and its footnotes on stream, he came to the conclusion that two of the redacted names mentioned in Jones's suit belonged to rapper Meek Mill and Usher. Now here, it is incredibly important for me to mention that we have absolutely no confirmation whatsoever that Meek Mill and Usher are those two people. But that has in no way stopped people online from blowing it the fuck up and running with it. So there, if you actually look at what people are saying, it's just kind of a lot of people memeing about the entire situation. But you know, with all of this, one of the additional reactions we've seen to all of this are people that are pissed off that a lot of the kind of the prevailing narrative has become, haha, some rappers might be closeted. Saying it's truly astonishing how the prevailing narrative is saturated with Diddy and Meek Mill same-sex coitus memes and opinions, while the serious allegations concerning underage girls are overshadowed. But follow to stay in the loop.
Well, that was our episode of Diddy or Did He Do It? We already know that this dude being sued left and right. Ciroc is dropping him that little radio podcast thing or whatever he was part of or whatever, you know what I'm saying? They dropping him. Yeah, you got investors. And then when you don't own something 100%, you know, those investors can come in and be like, nah, we can't have you do that. You see how they did that dude from Papa John? Yeah. Now they got Papa Diddy. Shut up. It's all good though. But thank y'all for coming and chilling with me. This is Mr. Wade, the host of Wait a Minute POV. And I'm gonna see y'all on the next go round. Yee.